Hey guys, HC Crypto here and welcome back to the channel. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like on the way out, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. We've got all sorts of different useful links below. We've got all sorts of different useful tutorials. If you're on the LUNC chain, you can delegate with us. You can stake your LUNC with us and you can earn USTC and LUNC in return. So it's been an interesting week as always. There's lots of different ideas kind of floating about this staking mechanism for USTC. It's interesting. I'm not going to act like it's not an interesting topic because it is, but I think the placement, the rewards, a lot of validators would be required to give up. It just seems like it needs a very in-depth video to go over the pros and the cons of this kind of thing. I think introducing some kind of variable staking lockup with different unlock dates. So for example, let's just make one off of the bat. If you had a 7-day lockup, if you wanted to obviously take that 7-day unlock, so to speak, you could give back a certain amount of coins from your actual staked amount if you wanted to get out early, so to speak, in comparison to what you've earned. The chain itself is very intelligent, so someone could probably write a module for that. Obviously, it's just hiring someone to build that module. So let's get over to the main subject here. And realistically, I'm very interested as to what's going on with DK, because DK himself has always been very talkative on Twitter. He's been the social engagement from his side it's always been very key from him, and he's just gone totally dark. And it's always been kind of confusing what is going on out there. Is he free to roam about? Is he on house arrest? Is he in like a little prison cell? Nobody really knows, and TFL themselves aren't really giving good updates. So we spoke about recently the fact that DK had met with different sort of people on his journey to Montenegro, so to speak, and he was attempting to get to Belgrade, and then they had an apartment complex there with parking spaces, and that was around a $2 million asset. So we know there's all sorts of different like backhanders going on, so to speak, and he is in a very, very corrupt country. So this article is being pushed out around 2 minutes ago, and it is Montenegro court rejects extradition order for crypto tycoon. So this has happened once again, but this is a really interesting development, so let's go over it. So appeals court on Friday reversed an order to extradite cryptocurrency entrepreneur Dokwon to South Korea, where he is wanted over the multi-billion-dollar collapse of the Terraform Labs company. For months, Seoul and Washington have been seeking the South Korean extradition for his suspected role in the fraud linked to his company's dramatic collapse, which wiped out about $40 billion of investors' money and shook global markets. So the appeals court of Montenegro said it had accepted the appeals of the accused Kwon Do-hong and his defense attorneys, revoking the decision of the High Court in Puerto Rico. The ruling added it would be returning the case to the first instance court for a retrial and decision. So this is a really interesting development, because once again it was sort of South Korea's turn to have an attempt at this extradition. That's been overruled, and now this is actually being pushed into the first instance court again for a retrial and decision. Realistically, we could see DK walk away from this. We really could, because the laws don't reach that far out into Montenegro, not even South Korea, for example, not even the United States. He could be let go if the right palms are greased, so to speak. So something we do know from the information that we have kind of gone through here previously is the guy he traveled with has been extradited. And if we look at what's the difference between DK and him, well, DK has more value to him politically, to Interpol, to Europol, and to the United States specifically, right? There's a lot more value than this other guy, yet the other guy was extradited, right? And I really do think it's all down to the treasure DK has with him, whatever funds that they have, well, him himself has access to, which is how he's paying this legal defense team throughout all of this, right? And I think it all kinds of adds up to a bigger picture that there's a lot of backhanders going on at the moment. So another article that caught my eye, and I'll leave links to these, And this was kind of like what I was saying about the situation with DK. Like, is he free to roam around? We just don't get a lot of information. So the Montenegrin Justice Minister discussed Dokwon's case with the SEC. So inside this article, there's a lot to go through in here. So I'm not going to bore you with it because a lot of it we already know. So something that I found quite interesting here is this statement highlighted in green. So though he is free to travel within Montenegro after his release, Kwon's lawyers have filed several appeals that have delayed extradition proceedings. Depending on the court rulings, Milovic may ultimately decide whether the Terraform co-founder is sent to the US or South Korea. But like I said, something that's not being mentioned here is the fact that he could just be freed. He could just be free to go, because currently, from now what we can tell and the information that is available, he's actually free to travel within Montenegro. And I think he's being very careful with the social media side not to give his location away, because we all know what the CIA are like at the end of the day, right? Fly you up in a plane, and next thing you know, you end up in the United States. So it wouldn't be something that's out of the normal or out of the playbook, so to speak. And what I think a lot of people need to understand is the SEC have found TFL liable for fraud, as to which DK is wrapped up in this. So it's a really interesting situation. The only thing that they've done wrong out in Montenegro is these falsified travel documents. And he was sentenced to 4 months in prison, as stated here. So once again, like, he's done everything he needs to do. If the right palms are greased, I think we could end up seeing DK make it to a country where he's more or less untouchable by the sectors that are really trying to get hold of him, so to speak, because we should have seen him extradited a while ago. It should have just happened by now. You've got to have a very, very, very good defense team out there to be able to do these kind of things. And if this was a very, very legitimate country, for example, somewhere inside of like Europe, like France, Italy, somewhere like that, Interpol would have got him by now, and he would have been brought over to the United States or South Korea. So this is all a really, really interesting situation, because throughout all of this, right, he is like the missing puzzle piece. You need to add him into this thing to really take it to the next level. I think what's going to be interesting is when somebody does figure out, right, and for 100% can say for certain that the treasure he has on him is interconnected to all of these different wallets, because as much as I search, I always find different wallets and people send me different wallets, but nothing seems viable. Nothing seems like it would say, yes, this is his wallet. So I don't know if there's anybody out there from the pre-crash community who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone, so to speak. But, you know, keep sending those addresses through, guys, because eventually we will get to the bottom of it. And obviously having those LUNC dash tools makes it very easy for me to dip and dive in and out of the money flow system and really figure out where all of this is going. So what to expect over the weekend? I think it's going to be a very, very interesting weekend for crypto in general. I think we're going to see a decent bit of action on the chart, but I think we should all be prepared that there could be a slight dip in price movement as well, as we kind of saw with those BTC ETFs. A few more different videos coming out today. I'm working on a podcast currently as well, so do keep an eye out for that one. It is coming in the future. And guys, like I was saying at the beginning, subscribe, like, comment, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. And other than that, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.